folks. Hey folks, hey folks. Hold on, let me turn off the... Hey folks. Hi pals, hi pals, hi pals. And hello, 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 friends. It has been a while, and I'm sorry. I have been very sporadic. I posted 2 things in the last month, and I want to be it's because I was busy with school, but honestly, I mean, that's part of it. I have finals right now, but another thing is that I did not have the motivation to post or to even make content. I'm just so exhausted, honestly. I hate to be a bummer, but this pandemic has taken it out of me, and it's taken it out of everyone, and there are people who are working infinitely harder than me, but I just needed a bit of a break to just, I don't know, be okay, or I don't even know what I'm saying here, but anyways, I am back hopefully for, not good because time is irrelevant, but I'm back for now, and I hope you are all having a wonderful day, but if you're not, I hope that I can make it a little bit, just a little bit better. If you hear any background noise, that is most likely the person that's in my shower right now. Or I live in a house with people and they're in their shower. It's not like a person in my shower, but in the communal shower, they're showering. And I'm sorry if you hear that noise. Hopefully it's like a nice ambiance, but it probably isn't. I can't. It's late at night and I really wanted to film this tonight. I felt really motivated to really get it going, but here I am. So today I thought, what would be really fun? Talking about Netflix originals / short shows that are maybe not Netflix originals but only have 8 to 10 episodes kind of thing. Because I have very strong opinions on the matter, and why start a YouTube channel if you can't share your opinions? I hope this will be kind of relaxing and maybe interesting. I'm going to be talking about Bridgerton, The Irregulars. Sorry, I'm just looking at my Netflix right now to see what I've seen. Ginny and Georgia. I should have written this down. I have no ability to. Oh, and The End of the Effing World. Hopefully I remember to actually do all those. I'm gonna just be like, oh, I'm gonna do these. But if you haven't watched any of them, or if you are watching them right now, or if you plan on watching them, I'm gonna try not to include any spoilers. But I'm talking about a TV series, so obviously I'm gonna be talking about stuff that's going on. So if you don't like spoilers, please turn away. This is your one warning. And I just thought, let's get into it. So I'm gonna talk about Ginny and Georgia first. I love dumb, I don't even know, dumb TV shows, kitschy, corny TV shows. I love that stuff, and that's kind of what I thought Ginny and Georgia would be. I thought it'd be a mom and her daughter having the La Vida Loca from, Tennessee or Texas or wherever they're from, and moving to this kind of posh place. I thought that was what it was going to be, and I guess in a way it was. But in my opinion, they kind of started off with it being kind of jokey, but then made it too serious. But because, I think they wanted it to be like a teen drama, but really it was just like a hokey show. I could make an hour-long video of things that I didn't like in the show, and I'm sorry to anyone who likes Ginny and Georgia. It was entertaining. I mean, I watched the whole thing, so obviously it wasn't that terrible. But it just bothered me so much, mostly because I hated Ginny's character. Nothing against the actress; she is beautiful, and she was very talented in portraying a very irritating person. So I mean, props to her. But I found Ginny's character the most selfish, spoiled, unlikable character. And I say this mostly because I just found her so ungrateful for everything that Georgia did. I mean, the sacrifices Georgia's made in her life, the stuff that Georgia went through to she's like, treat me like an adult, and then Georgia treats her like an adult, and she's like, I'm gonna act like a child. You can't have it both ways. So I really didn't like that. I also didn't like the girls. Like, I found the portrayal of high school to be sadly very accurate. Like, okay, in some ways not. So like, for one, Hunter Chen, I think that's his name, Hunter Chen. Hold on, let me look it up. Hunter. Yeah, Hunter Chen. There, you know what? He seems like a very nice guy. But it was just like if 50-year-olds wrote what they believed a teenager acted like. You know, like his little good morning, it's Friday, good morning Jenny, it's Friday, like, I'm sorry, what? I mean, I don't know, maybe you do that. I don't. I mean, I'm not a teenager, well, I am a teenager, I'm 19, but like, I'm not in high school anymore, so maybe that's a thing that, you know, people do, but like, I just thought it was kind of, and she was like, oh my god, that's so cute, and I'm like, okay, you do you, Beanie, but like, again, like I said, I'm very opinionated on this. So yeah, I didn't really like, I mean, I thought Hunter Chen was like, I don't know why I'm saying his full name, I thought Hunter was an okay character. I mean, he was very annoying at some point, but I don't think that was because of his character. I think that was just because of the things he did, like, you know, writing Junia's song, like, I can barely breathe when you aren't here. I sang that all the time. It was always in my head. It's probably gonna be in my head now, but like stuff like that, or the tap dance. I'm like, no teenager ever would actually do that, but he did it. So, you know, and it was funny. I mean, it's not like it was a bad thing. But then like the other teenagers, like Max, oh my gosh, she was so immature and frustrating and selfish, and I really did not like. I liked her in the beginning. I thought she was kind of like, ooh, you know, crazy, and I was like, yeah, this is fun, you know. But then I was kind of like, do I actually really like this person? Because genuinely, she seems like she just is very immature, and I mean, okay, to be fair, I think they're supposed to be like 14-year-olds, so I guess in a way they kind of are accurate to that. But, you know, whatever. Marcus, I liked Marcus. I did not like him in the beginning. I really didn't. I thought it was awful. Not on him. Like, the very first night that he met her, he crawls into her window and they end up having sex together. Which, okay, whatever, they're two teenagers, but I just was like, both of them are virgins. I'm gonna be talking about this. I mean, it's side, but she made it very difficult. I did agree with her what she said when she slapped Ginny. I definitely thought, like, that really bothered me. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, because if you have seen the show, then you probably do, but there's a scene where Abby was like, you know, my parents are going through the divorce, I'm having a really tough time, no one really noticed, no one was really there, and she was crying and, like, very, very upset. And then Ginny was like, well, I have family problems too. Okay, and then she has the audacity to say the world doesn't revolve around you, Abby. Or, like, not everything's about you, Abby. I'm sorry, what? Ginny, it's not about you either. I mean, I know this is your show, but, like, step down, sis, stay in your lane. It really, really irked me because, like, if anyone ever came to me and was like, I'm not doing well, I'm very upset, I'm not gonna be like, well, I'm upset too. Who does that help? That's just like, you know, it's not a competition, but also, if it was a competition, you'd lose. Like, it really bothered me, and I feel like they're not good friends to each other. Like, all of them are not good friends to each other. So that was that, Ginny and Georgia. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I didn't like about the show. There's a lot, honestly. There are so many individual moments where I was like, I think another big thing that really bugged me was when Ginny was upset about the essay competition. Say what you will about the teacher, I do believe that he was racist. Like, it's not really my place to say anything on that part, but what really irritated me was the fact that she wrote a poem and expected to win. Like, if the instructions are given that you must write a formal essay, don't write a poem. That's kind of clear. But she wrote a poem and then expected to win. Like, her poem was good, I guess, but it wasn't an essay, and the assignment was an essay. And then Hunter, who I did feel, I mean, I obviously didn't hear the other essay, so I can't really tell you if, you know, he deserved it. But Hunter, who followed the assignment and who actually did what was asked, you know, I think he deserved to win, personally. And Ginny's like, you know, do you really believe you should have won? Yes, Ginny, I do. Like, it just bothers me because if, you know, she's a good writer, the poem was good, but it's not an essay, and if you expect to win because you wrote something good and not what was asked, I don't know what to tell you, sucks to be you, I guess, but I feel like I've talked about Ginny and Georgia enough. Overall, my rating out of 10 was like a 6. Oops. A 6. I definitely will watch another season if it comes out, mostly because I've already invested this much time into it. But it's not like one of those shows where I'm like, you have to watch this before you die, you know? It's not. It's an okay show. Okay, next, Bridgerton. Now this one, I had really high hopes for this one. I love historical romances. Like, there is nothing I love more. My favorite book ever is Pride and Prejudice, and I've read it at least 7 times. I've watched the movie with Keira Knightley, of course, like 20 times. I love that movie. Everything about it is just perfection. Everything about the book is perfection. Like, there's nothing I could not make a single complaint about it ever. There's nothing that I would say ill against the book or the story. And I was really hoping that Bridgerton would be similar. Like, I know I knew it was gonna be kind of steamier. I mean, I just guessed because sex sells, but like, I was thoroughly disappointed. I was excited about this historical romance, and especially set in for such an exciting time with the fashion, but also it was set in kind of a world where there was no, like, there could be diversity, you know, like, historically, you probably wouldn't see princesses and like ladies and I don't know, lords and stuff who were people of color, but in this Bridgerton there were people of color, and I really like that, honestly, because like, I know some people are like, well, if it's not historically accurate, it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe Bridgerton wasn't historically accurate in the casting, but that didn't really detract at all from the story. Like, perception of what they would have been like. Like Daphne's character matched her look, and that could be just because I have this preconceived notion of what she'd look like based on the character that I've already seen her as. And, I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever. To be honest, I am exhausted. I wrote a 3-hour chem final last night from 7 to 10 p.m. and I have another 3-hour final on Thursday, and I've just been studying, but I still wanted to film this, so I'm hoping this kind of makes some sense. But, so yeah, I thought that, the fashion was fun, the casting was good, the characters, I really liked all the characters in the beginning. I also want to say that, let me look something up. I also want to say that I loved, the person who played Penelope, Nicola Coughlan, I don't know if that's how you say her name. I love her as an actress. She was in Derry Girls, and I love Derry Girls, probably like one of the funniest shows I've ever watched. And then also, who else? What was her name? Oh, I really liked Lady Danbury. That was Simon's. I wasn't. I think it was his like aunt or like kind of maternal figure. She's played by, oh gosh, Adjoa Andoh. I'm really sorry if I butchered that. Adjoa Andoh. I think that's how you say it. And then also I really, really liked Claudia Jessie, who played Eloise. I thought she was so funny. I loved her. I loved her character. And like another thing I really liked was Daphne, oddly enough. Or not oddly enough even, but Daphne was a very feminine character, and she had very strong maternal instincts. She really wanted to have a family, but she was very strong as well. And I think it's so beautiful and really nice because I know a lot of times in movies and TV shows, strong has been kind of equated with masculine things, or like with fighting and aggression, or with being not like other girls. But I loved Daphne because she was this feminine, nurturing, kind, everything that makes up, well, no, I take that out. She was this feminine, kind, nurturing soul, and she was still like super badass, and I really like that because I don't think that, I think that, girls like, you can be a badass however you want. Like, you can be feminine and be rocking it, or you can be, I don't know what I'm saying right now, but I really liked her. And then also, Simon, what a heartthrob. This man, top tier. He was like created by the gods. Honestly, the most attractive man ever. But I did not like the plot at all. I thought, okay, here's a great historical romance, and we're gonna see. Part of the reason I love historical romances is because the romance, at least in like Pride and Prejudice, comes from the interactions between the two lovers and their dialogues together, and there's no like, one could say that in Pride and Prejudice there is some kind of tension between them, and I do think there is, but like, that what makes their love so beautiful is that it's really intellectual, and I was really hoping something like this would happen where, Daphne and Simon weren't really supposed to be together, but they kind of conned their way into being together so that their family would leave them alone, and I thought they'd have these kind of snippy little quips with each other and really good conversation, and they did in the beginning, and I liked that. But boom, the second they got married, I could not name you one interaction they had that wasn't either a fight or sex, or a fight that led to sex. And don't get me wrong, I'm fine with a little bit of steamy romance. I'm not gonna say that I'm like, what detracts from the plot, because sometimes it's a good plot additive. But if that's the entire plot, that they're just two people that are sexing, that's not a word, if they're two people who are having relations, if that's it, that's all their interaction is, I'm like, oh, come on, guys. That's just lazy writing at this point. I don't want you to think that, I couldn't write better. I have nothing against the writers. this show. It's kind of cute and dark at the same time. I mean, obviously, there are some moments in it that are like really upsetting, and but the way they handle that is funny, almost. Like, I don't want to say it's funny in the way that it's not like a but it's almost like a, are you seeing what I'm seeing right now, you know? I haven't watched that show in a really long time, but I wanted to mention it because I keep seeing scenes, and I love Alyssa's character so much. I think she is just so well written, so well acted. Like, there is nothing that you could say that would convince me that this isn't a good show. I really, really like Alex Lothar. I think he's a very, very talented actor. My perception of him was kind of iffed because of the Black Mirror thing, so I kind of had this like image of, or I had this preconceived notion of him and not liking him because of Black Mirror, but I like him in this one a lot. Now I'm trying to remember, what other shows did I talk about? Oh man, I should have written this down. I'm so bad. I can't remember. Oh, The Irregulars. Okay, first things first. The Irregulars is nothing like Sherlock and Watson. It is nothing like Sherlock Holmes. I think the only thing that they kept was the names. Everything else was completely, I mean, honestly, they could have literally used like any two other names and it wouldn't have made any impact on the story. Like, they could have used, instead of Dr. Watson, Dr. I don't know, Henry, or Bonnie Henry, Dr. I don't know, Dr. Henry and Ding Dong Fackelfuff. I don't know, like, it literally could have been any other names and it would not have made a difference on the plot because there was nothing. And even like Sherlock's character was not really like Sherlock Holmes. Like, he was supposed to be a genius, and I guess he was back in the day, but he wasn't really. So I didn't really get why that. I mean, whatever, they have to Sherlock Holmes, and it's fine. I really liked all of the actors. I thought they all did an exceptional job. I loved Leo, and I really liked Jesse. I think what was really fun was that all of their, like, Billy was the fighter, you know, Spike was the comic relief, Leo was the brains, Jesse was the heart, and B kind of tied it all together. And I really liked that each of their personalities, like, came in handy, you know, they're all of use. So I really, really liked that. And okay, I do have a huge complaint. It was so dark all the time. I could barely see what was going on half the time. God, I thought there was someone right there. Half the time, I was like, I like, this is supposed to be scary, but I genuinely have no idea what's going on. Like, it's just pitch black. And that really annoyed me because a lot of the important scenes were filmed in the dark. And it just really bugged me because I really wanted to see it. But it was so dark. It was really, like, my mom and I watched it together, and it was just so frustrating because I wanted to be able to fully appreciate, you know, the acting and the scenery and everything, but it's just pitch black, so all I hear is voices. So that was really frustrating, but overall the stories were really good. Yes, it was kind of far-fetched with the whole